doubled courses, but they're so small that it sounds like a, some kind of mutated mandolin or something, I really enjoyed that process. Or taking the nylon string and trying to play exactly the same thing twice and panning those to the left or right, and then playing the exact same thing on the 12 string right up the middle. And when you pan those, listen to it in headphones, it has a certain kind of three-dimensional effect that you don't get with just the one take. Those are some of the things I tried to do, and I think you can hear them in headphones. So there are three main guitars that I used on this record, almost for everything, all the acoustic stuff. This is my Guild 312 from the, no, actually it's an F112 NT, and I think it's from the late 1960s, early 1970s. It's not really in tune right now, but this was a guitar I got really cheap, and I bought this brand. Guild's kind of famous for knowing how to make 12 strings sound beautiful and be playable. And this one's it's been refinished. It's got some cracks. It's got some craziness with the top. The back has been messed with. It's got a nice crack here and some filler here. But I sort of took the approach that David Lindley takes, which is that if it sounds good, don't mess with it. He always says if it sounds good, don't turn a screw. But a lot of the sound of the record that you hear is this record. It's just a great sounding old guitar. Probably the next most used guitar on the record is this nylon string, and it's just a Takamine. It's a Japanese-made one, so it's a pretty good one. I bought it used at Mike's Music here in town, and I bought this guitar for the Phil Keaggy tour, actually. I wound up not using it on the tour because the pickup in it doesn't sound that great, but acoustically it's pretty nice. Cold is not nice to the tune. Anyway, it sounds great acoustically for some reason. It's not a very expensive guitar, and it's not an acoustic marvel, but it records really nicely and plays nicely. And so a lot of the stuff you hear on the record is this. So that's the Takamine nylon string. And last, and certainly not least, this is the James Olson acoustic guitar that I bought from David Wilcox. Thank you, David. A long time ago. And it is probably the finest, one of the very finest acoustic guitars I've ever played. It's a dark cedar top, and I think it's Indian rosewood back and sides. Has a 5-piece neck, which makes it really stable for alternative tunings. I'm not sure what tuning it's in right now. Now it's in standard. Because it has this McLeish bridge, it actually plays in tune. Unlike most acoustic guitars, it plays in tune all the way up the neck. It's got the Sunrise. It's got a Joe Mills little microphone guy in there, which all comes out this giant multi-pin connector. None of which were used on the record. For the record, it was just mic'd acoustically, and it's just such a fine instrument to play. I won't say that it plays itself, but it's so consistent that it's a joy to play, and it does kind of make you want to play more and more and more. And James, hi James, makes some of the finest guitars that I'm aware of in the world. I think he's talking about retiring, and we will certainly miss having his guitars around. But this is a fairly early one of his, one of the first small jumbos. You can tell because it has the dots instead of having the doves, or having just a plain fingerboard. So, fine guitar. I'm lucky to have a guitar like this. And that's the tour of the acoustic guitars for the record.
Long days, not without their bounds. Could it be some way incomplete? The only thing that we've ever found. And if I'd written it down before, I'd have fallen so short. I could love you endlessly if time were erased, and I could hold you endlessly if time were Hope you'll write me down as one who loved every season well. They will write me down as one who loved you more than he could tell. Think of